I'll begin this morning with that there was a couple. They were both 60 years old, and they were celebrating their 60th birthday, and they had been together a long time. And all of a sudden, an angel appeared before them and said, in honor of your birthday, God has said it's okay to grant you each one thing, anything you desire in the whole world. And the woman said, oh, I want to be able to travel around the world. And in the twinkling of an eye, right within her hands was a bundle of first-class tickets all around the world. Yeah. And the husband said, I want to be married to a woman 30 years younger. And in an instant, he was 90 years old. Yeah, it's true. It's true. See? You got to watch what you pray for, because you're probably going to get it. So in the science of mind, our teaching, the science of mind, religious science is part of what we call the truth movement. And it centers on the belief that God is everywhere equally present and that there is an ever availability of good, that God intends absolute good for each and every one of us. And so truth revealed in and through and as our consciousness can do extraordinary things. It can restore our health and heal our relationships and lift up our self-respect and increase our finances. All things. See, it puts people on their feet and shows them that life is worth living. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of people I've talked to have been to places at times in their life where they really felt it was not worth living. Now, I'm not interested in the idea of people being frightened by a devil or something like that. Life is lived in the moment. You know, life is lived in the moment, and we have been endowed with free will. We have been given by God choice as to how we live, how we express, what we think, how we be in each and every moment. And so the science of mind says to us again and again that God is the only power. And so, okay, right, great, I'm on board. God's the only power. Now, what do I do with that? Well, first of all, it doesn't have to be that difficult. Relax. Just relax. Become quiet. Turn to that presence. Ernest Holmes says that presence is everywhere and it's also within us. So turn your attention to God within. Turn your attention to God within. See, I think this is really the key to life. That life is a state of consciousness. From the beginning to the end, everything has to do with our consciousness. So you are, what you have, what you do in life is in accord with your consciousness, with who you are as an inner being. You know, are there other ways to look at life? Sure, absolutely. You know, you could look at life like a victim. How many have tried that? Don't raise your hands. Right? You could look at life like everybody else is blessed, but you're not. Okay, that doesn't work very well. But here, in this teaching, life is a state of consciousness. It's a state of consciousness to say, God always has my best interest in mind. See, because to me, that right there is really restoration. That whatever's going on in my life, I know that God has my best interest in mind. So that means that I'm going to get through whatever I'm going through right now. I'm going to heal whatever needs to be healed. I'm going to lift up my thinking wherever it needs to be lifted up. Whatever is going on in life can be restored. Now, I realize I have watched way too much HGTV, right? Because there's always some phenomenal restoration project going on. Some house that is in absolute shambles. You know, somebody comes in and says, oh, yes. And in 3 days, oh my God, it's very biblical. I hadn't thought about that. But in 3 days, it's going to be raised up into something new and extraordinary. You know, everybody that comes into our life is an expression of our consciousness about our fellow men and women. You know, because they're showing us, everybody who shows up in our life shows us something that we believe. The heights. You know, people can come into our life and we say, oh my God, I didn't know I could be so loving and so creative and so giving. And people show up in our lives and we can just be our very worst selves. Isn't it surprising? Right? And you say, well, I only encounter jerks. I'm sorry, it's not me. It's that I encounter people who are just precious children of God impersonating a jerk right now. Right? And so Emmett Fox, one of our favorite metaphysical writers, he gives this idea that because like attracts like, what you need to do is you need to get yourself a little card and write that on it, like attracts like, and put it somewhere where you will always see it, right? Because it's never about the other person. It's that like attracts like. So, you can put it in your checkbook or something like that, or on your closet door, or on your bathroom mirror, someplace where you're going to see it all the time.